evening and welcome to the second edition of News Tonight. Let's start with a look at the top stories. President Yoweri Museveni rewards Sister Maria Richard Naiga. Four suspects alleged to have murdered John Kaweesi charged at Nakawa Magistrates Court. Police hands over bodies of slain tourists to the UK forensic expert team. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. President Yoweri Museveni has today awarded Reverend Sister Maria Richard Naiga with the 60th Independence Diamond Jubilee Medal at State House in Entebbe. The 60th Independence Diamond Jubilee Medal was awarded to Reverend Sister Naiga in recognition of her outstanding service and loyalty to the country from 1962 to 9th October 2022, pursuant to Section 3 of the National Honours and Awards Act of 2001 as amended. She was supposed to get the medal during the Independence Day celebrations in Kitgum District on the 9th of October 2023, but she did not make it due to some unavoidable circumstances. During the function, President Museveni appreciated Sister Naiga for her dedicated service to Uganda. He also pledged to support her, and Sister Naiga, a philanthropist, was born 84 years ago on the 10th of June 1939 at Kasenyi Mubende District. She was ordained a priest in 1971 and currently retired at Gogonya Parish. Besides her religious calling, where she served at Chinda Diocese, Nsambya, Rubaga and Gogonya as the head of chiefs for different bishops, Reverend Sister Naiga managed to do a lot of community work, which included, among others, offering part of her ancestral land located in present-day Chankwanzi District, Mulaji Sub-County, Chigando Local Council for the construction of a vocational training institute for the needy students to complement Father Kasole's work. She also personally funded the construction of the vocational training at Chigando in 1992, where free education for the needy students is still being offered. Sister Naiga also used funds from her friends from Germany to sponsor many needy students in higher institutions of learning, including religious leaders, where over 100 nuns benefited, among others. This awarding ceremony was attended by Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa, the Minister for Energy and Mineral Development. Four suspects alleged to have murdered John Kaweesi, a senior assistant DPP and head of International Crimes Department in the DPP's office, have been charged at Nakawa Magistrates Court in Kampala. After 8 years, the four were arrested by the joint security operatives.
On 30th March 2015, the Senior Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions and the Head of International War Crimes Division Department in the DPP's office, Joan Namazi Kaweesi, was shot dead by assailants riding on a motorbike in Chiwature, a Kampala suburb, on her way home. For 8 years, no suspects were brought to book following her murder, not until yesterday when President Yoweri Museveni confirmed to the country that 4 suspects were in police custody. The arrested suspects include Chibuka John, Masajage John, Chiseka Dan, and Nasulu Abdara. The suspects appeared at Nakawa Magistrates Court to face charges. Before Chief Magistrate Elias Kakwoza, court charged them with 1 count of murdering John Kaweesi and 1 count of terrorism.
Nga mulina ekigendererwa ekyokutiisatiisa gavumenti n'abantu mwenyigira mu kikolwa eky'obutujju nga mulina ebigendererwa eby'ebyobufuzi oba eby'eddiini nga muli Kiwatule mu Nakawa Division mu Kampala District nga mulina ekigendererwa oba nga mulina nga mukozesa ettima mwatta Assistant Director of Public Prosecution, Joan Namazi Kaweesi.
The suspects were not allowed to take plea since Nakawa Magistrates Court has no jurisdictions to try such capital offences. The suspects, who had no legal representative, were remanded to Luzira Government Prison until 20th November 2023.
We are glad that finally the day has come. We are hopeful that we are going to get justice for the family, for the prosecution agency at large, that one of us was taken out of action when she was actually doing her prosecutorial work.
Over 20 suspects have so far been arrested in line with the murder of Joan Kaweesi. However, they were released due to lack of evidence.
There are only 2 of them who are already convicted. They were convicted on the charges of aggravated robbery, and the remaining 2 were not convicts in prison. So as you heard the magistrate reading the charge sheet, there are 4 accused that we have now, but some are still at large. So when we get other people, we shall be joining them on the charge sheet. In respect to the investigations that were carried out, we are very confident. Before, there had been investigations, but now we are confident that the investigations that were carried out in respect to these people is enough to have us try them in the courts of law.
At the time of her death, Joan Kaweesi was the lead prosecutor in the case, where 15 suspects were being tried for the 2010 bombings of Al-Shabaab, which claimed more than 70 people in Lugogo, an Ethiopian village in Kabalagala. Unlike other cases, prosecutors from the DPP's office appeared in big numbers at Nakawa Court, including the children of Joan Kaweesi. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Police have handed over the bodies of the 2 murdered tourists in Queen Elizabeth National Park, Kasese District, to the UK forensic expert team. The police spokesperson, Fred Enanga, confirms that the continued close cooperation between the UPDF and the teams in Britain on the investigations of the circumstances surrounding the death of the tourists will yield fruit.
The Uganda Police Forensic Directorate has handed over a preliminary post-mortem report to the UK forensic experts and bodies of the 2 murdered tourists in Queen Elizabeth National Park.
We managed to hand over the 2 bodies of the deceased foreign tourists, and which were repatriated to the UK for further management. All the legal formalities back here at home, the lines of inquiry, our findings, the timelines of events aligned with GPS, phone evidence and other recordings were shared and availed to our counterparts. And a full post-mortem report was also handed over to the UK team.
The Marine Forces and UPDF are working on tracing the remaining ADF elements that aided the attack on the tourists and on Ugandan traders.
We also want to commend our UPDF Marines and CMI who are continuing to pursue the remaining remnants of the ADF group that attacked the foreign tourists, the students at Lubiriha, and also the business people who were killed along Kasese Road, Kasese Highway.
In Jinja, police arrested a mother, Mwase Rose, for the alleged double murder of her 2 children.
The suspect is alleged to have murdered her children, Babiria China, aged 5, and Claire Sowati, aged 1, and then buried the 2 children in her sitting room around the 27th of last month, October.
The Police Wiki report has indicated raising cases of defilement, where in Kamuli District, a primary teacher, Mukulusi Ambrose, defiled a primary 7 candidate.
The 15-year-old victim, who is a candidate, had gone out to ease herself in the girls' school urinals. It is there that the teacher was lying in wait and managed to grab her and defiled her from the urinals. So when the victim delayed, her fellow pupils got concerned and they mounted a search. So it is at that stage that they saw the suspect, Bugisu Ambrose, their teacher, running after defiling the victim.
Meanwhile, police in Arua have rearrested a police officer after new evidence implicating him to the aggravated defilement of a 21-month-old female resurfaced. Parents and guardians are cautioned to be vigilant. Abdul Nasir Luwama and Rogers Komagun for UBC.
Preparations for the royal wedding of the Chavazinga of Busoga William Gavlan Adiope IV and Inebantu Motesi Jovia are in high gear. In Busoga Kingdom, paint of the royal palace and cleaning of the whole of Ginger City is ongoing.
The mood in Busoga region and the talk around town in Busoga region shows how the land is ready to welcome the royal wedding. With only 11 days to the D-Day, preparations are in high gear. Along the main road leading to the royal palace, traditional monuments are being set up and posters showing the Queen, Her Royal Highness Mutesi Jovia. The locals are in joy.
I'm happy for him for getting the Queen and all entire Busoga.
Okubeera mu Busoga nga Chavazinga agenda akola omukolo gwe ntalabangako mu bulamu bwange okuvanga mbaawo gwe mukolo ogusoose era nange oba kiki kakibe ki ketonye etya ngenda kuleka byonna byokola ngende ntuukeye ku mukolo gwa Chavazinga.
The Busoga Kingdom declared a feast in all countries with a bull to be slaughtered. Meanwhile, renovation works are undergoing at the palace. Kansai Plascon has given out all the paint for the palace and the kingdom administration blocks.
Today, Plascon is excited to continue our partnership with traditional and cultural institutions, and as of now, we now have a partnership and we're looking at building a relationship, close relationship to the Kingdom of Busoga.
The paint, valued at 135 million Uganda shillings, will renovate all kingdom palaces for a period of 3 years. Plascon Paints have offered support to not only the sports fraternity, but equally the kingdoms and the religious denominations. Marshall Miro, Amon Gabo, UBC News.
UBC News Tonight. We engaged Mariam Wangadia, the chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission, to discuss the National Unity Platform's initiative to profile missing persons. She did not object to the party's move, but advised that the Human Rights Committee of Parliament should publicly release the report on the matter to ensure an amicable solution.
The Uganda Human Rights Commission recently released a report on missing persons affiliated with the National Unity Platform, accounting for 12 individuals while 18 remained unaccounted for. The Uganda Human Rights Commission faced challenges in tracing some allegedly missing members, as their phones were switched off and others failed to provide sufficient information about the missing individuals. In response to what the National Unity Platform viewed as a violation of human rights through violent arrests and prolonged detentions of its members, the party began profiling families of the missing persons.
It was imperative, it was our duty to provide information to the public, to provide information to the regime, to provide information to Mariam Wangadia and her commission if they think or if they're saying these people don't exist.
I have no problem whatsoever with the National Unity Platform or any party profiling families of those who are said to be missing.
For real, these people exist, their families exist, and the fact that their families will be giving testimonies about their lost loved ones. So it will mean that government will be tasked to go down and investigate more.
We fully investigated the cases of the 30 people who were said to be missing, and our report is out there.
She also clarified that the closure of the UN Human Rights Office and non-renewal of the contract is not something Ugandans should worry about. The UN Human Rights Office played a crucial role in upholding standards of respect for human rights.
But we have the Uganda Human Rights Commission which I'm honored to head, which is protecting, championing the protection and the promotion of human rights in Uganda on a daily basis. We have a vibrant civil society with so many human rights NGOs. We have the courts of judicature. All these here cases to do with human rights. We also have a functional tribunal. Periodically we convene court sessions and hear cases of human rights violations and give redress. We have a vibrant media which brings to the fore issues of human rights. So I do not believe that the expiry of the mandate of that office will change the human rights spectrum in Uganda.
The recently reported violators of human rights are security agencies, a concern the Human Rights Commission boss stated would be addressed through engagements.
In every institution there will always be a bad apple, but based on that to label an entire institution, the entire security apparatus in Uganda as a violator of human rights, I think is rather unfair. But we engage with members of the security agencies, we investigate cases against them, we issue reports, we hear cases against them, we do trainings with them, and we interview them, and we interview them on their own human rights. Actually, very soon we are going to issue a report to do with the welfare of the police.
The Uganda Human Rights Commission has 12 regional offices across the country where members of the public can lodge complaints. And as well, an application was developed to enable complainants to track the progress of their queries. Ivan Kahua, UBC News.
Uganda has stressed the need for development countries to honor their pledge and commitment towards financing the climate change programs for adaptation and mitigation. First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Community Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, says the time is now for developed countries to walk the talk of financing environmental restoration programs, as well as empowering least developed countries to cope with the climate change impact.
About 13 years ago, during the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change Conference of Parties in Mexico, developed country parties committed to collectively start mobilizing funds worth $100 billion per annum by 2020. However, 3 years past the deadline, the pledge seems unattainable as developed country parties remain tight-lipped on the matter. As the world gears up for the 28th Conference of Parties, starting this November, Uganda has reminded the developed countries that are party to this commitment to act.
We are still insisting on the issue for adaptation and mitigation and loss and damage. Those are things we want to see delivered. And also the $100 billion that was pledged to these developed countries, which has never been brought. We want it now. This time there should be a serious commitment and delivery on that issue.
Uganda, like other least developed countries, continues to suffer some of the worst effects of climate change despite having the least footprint as regards to greenhouse emissions. Beatrice Anywar, the State Minister for Environment at the Line Ministry, says with a strong political will evidenced in her acts and policies, Uganda remains determined to reverse the effects of climate change.
I think Uganda, we are the only country, first of all, we have already I think there are 3 other countries which have, first of all, the Climate Change Committee that fast tracks the effect of climate change in the country. And now we have a Climate Change Act in place.
Also at the conference, Uganda intends to push for the inclusion of targets and indicators in the framing of the decision on the Global Goal on Adaptation Framework. This was revealed by the Commissioner, Climate Change Department at the Ministry of Water and Environment, who is also the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change focal person, Margaret Mwebesa, during a pre-COP28 meeting that was hosted at the Ministry of Water and Environment, attended by representatives of government ministries, departments and agencies, of national negotiators, civil society organizations and development partners.
Uganda welcomes the draft decision on global goal on adaptation framework, but we as least developed countries and other developing countries are pushing to include targets and indicators in the framing of the decision of global goal on adaptation framework. We don't want to leave it blank because it can take forever. So we want to have a time frame regarding this.
Meanwhile, unlike in the previous years where she participated as an observer, Uganda has this time round secured a pavilion, a platform that offers enormous opportunities for the nation to showcase her rich natural resources endowment that continue to position her as a powerful tourism destination.
There are people who hear about Uganda and they don't know about Uganda. So this is an opportunity for those who have never traveled to Uganda to see what Uganda has, Uganda looks like, what are the issues, what are the challenges, and we can also secure support and collaboration during those meetings.
The 28th Conference of Parties, also referred to as COP28, to be hosted in the United Arab Emirates, targets to fast-track the energy transition and slash emissions before 2030 to limit global warming. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
Buganda Road Standards and Wildlife Court has dismissed an application of objection filed by Judiciary's driver Stanley Kaweesi's lawyers challenging an amendment of the charge sheet with the second count of giving out false information. Court in doing so said that their objection lacked merit, thus giving prosecution a go-ahead to amend the charge sheet.
Judiciary driver Stanley Kaweesi appeared before the Chief Magistrate of Buganda Road Standards and Utilities Court, Gladys Kamasanyu, to proceed with the hearing of the case of hate speech, but was impossible. This forward prosecution's prayer to amend the charge sheet for Kaweesi to be charged with another count of giving false information. However, defense lawyers led by Derek Bazeketa objected to the prayer on grounds that the count offends the rules of framing charges. They further cited that court should stay proceedings against their client pending determination of a constitutional petition that needed interpretation of the Computer Misuse Act 2022 as amended, by which the accused is charged. Following their submissions, Chief Magistrate Gladys Kamasanyu delivered a ruling in the matter and dismissed the objection by the defense lawyers.
These acts giving rise to the alleged offences are totally different, and they are alleged to have occurred on different days. They don't fall under Section 39 of the Interpretation Act. The accused can hence be charged safely with the same counts as contained on the proposed charge sheet. In a nutshell, I hereby dismiss the objections raised by the defense in total for lack of merit.
Kamasanyu further said that court cannot stay proceedings since the constitutional petition doesn't involve Kaweesi as one of the applicants.
Of this case before this court, his trial before this court is therefore not prejudicial to him. It's not an injustice because he's before court legally charged under a law applicable in Uganda.
Prosecution was also directed to amend the charge sheet, highlighting all the relevant sections and acts by which the accused is charged.
By merely altering the charge sheet in this case, there cannot be any justice occasioned here. Prosecution is ordered to amend the charge sheet, proposed charge sheet. Provisions shall apply to all charges.
Court resumes tomorrow to start with the trial, where Stanley Kaweesi is charged with 2 counts of hate speech and giving out false information. Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
High Court in Chiboga has started the hearing of the case filed by over 1,000 residents of Chamutwala and Chamutete villages against the National Forestry Authority. The residents say that the National Forestry Authority illegally evicted and destroyed their properties. Meanwhile, Kampala City Hall Magistrates Court has released the city lawyer David Balondemu on a cash bail of 20 million shillings.
Recently, over 1,000 residents of Chamutete and Chamutwala village in Chankwanzi district lodged a case against National Forestry Authority for destroying their plantations and houses on 25th January 2023 and 6th October 2023. The case is before Judge Jameson Kalimani. The complainant, through their lawyer, presented 3 witnesses to court, among others, Mawanda Sabasaba and Hajmat of Karim.
So they start claiming your land.
However, it was sad for Hajmat of Karim to defend his statement when he alleged that he owned 100 acres of land. Yet the police statement was saying contrary.
I think you are telling the truth to court that you own 100 acres in that area, and that is your claim before court, and your witness statement is telling us 70 acres.
The 3 witnesses were cross-examined by the National Forestry Authority lawyer. Judge Jameson Kalimani adjourned the case to 13th December 2023.
Kati obudde buno NFA gamba nti amataka gonna agali aga Republic Land oba Crown Land mbubageddiza kati baagala kulinyagira awo.
Osazi no beganti je kujjawo abantu bakizo nti ttaka lya Public Land bakkirize ffe ba landlord twaki tusabita tufuneko lease.
Me bakwata babatwala ne babaleta mu kooti wane ekiboga. Omulamuzi n'agamba nti baali bazze kunoonya kawogo tebalina musango mugisa nga sector manager yakulembera ekintu ekyo yabavunaanibwa.
Twagenda kudduka mu kooti ye mubeerewo.
Lawyer for the complainants talked to media after court.
Brought this report to court. They came complaining that NFA officials came and destroyed their crops, their livestock and their houses.
Meanwhile, the Kampala City Hall Magistrates Court has released the chairperson Kampala District Land Board, David Balondemu, on a cash bail of 20 million Ugandan shillings. Balondemu, who had spent 3 weeks on remand at Ruzira Government Prison, is facing charges of scamming a Korean nation by obtaining money by false pretense of $2.5 billion in a fake dollar deal. The case was before Magistrate Rehema Nasozi. However, his 2 co-accused, Mugisa James Jeff and Mavir Godfrey, have been further remanded to Luzira Prison until 15th November 2023 for their bail ruling and mention of the case. Prosecution contends that the 3 and others still were at large between March and November 2021 at the office of Balondemu Co-Advocates in Kampala, obtained the money, pretending that they were selling 36 kilograms of gold to Yun Kim, Deborah Namamonde, Robert Katamba, UBC News.
Let's take a short break. We have more on return. Please keep it with us.
Jovia. Ng'oyolekera ku lugendo luno olw'obulamu nkuwa ekirabo eky'amaanyi agatazizibwa, amaanyi okulabibwa n'okuwulirwa mu mawanga ag'ewala ennyo, okutuuka buli wamu nga yadde togenzeeyo, ensi yonna ng'ekuli mu ngalo. Okutambula mu biseera n'okumanya buli kimu ekirina okumanyibwa. Jovia, kino kye kirabo kyange gy'oli.
Tewali kumuko ki ky'osobola okukola ku mukutu nnandameggwa ogwa MTN.
Metu Bus Industries, Namamve, the manufacturers of buses for transporters, schools, tour operators, and special purpose vans and any customized vehicle. Metu Bus Industries offers a range of buses known for safety, comfort, and reliability. Depending on your needs, a bus can simply be a point A to point B people mover with just seats, or a special design that includes power outlet, Wi-Fi, television, refreshment center, and any other specification. Buy your buses from Metu and support industrialization of Uganda. Contact us on 0788 118586 or 0782 030303. Email us metuafricabus@gmail.com. Visit our website www.metubusafrica.com.
Oyagaliza famire yo obugagga n'obulamu obulungi yiga bw'oyinza okubifuna ng'okozesa science ne tekinologiya ng'oyita mu butonde. Omukenkufu Nyanzi Julius ekyuma kiwagala kyuma akuwandiikidde ekitabo ky'otasaanye kusubwa kusoma. Ekitabo kino akituumye Money Grows on Trees, sente zimera ku miti. Weefunire kopi ku siringi $200 gyokka ku kitebe kya Prof Bio Research ku Katorio Mall, ku matabi g'amatundiro g'ebitabo aga Aristoc Booklex, ku Acacia Mall, Garden City, Kampala Road ne ku mitimbagano ja Jumia Uganda, oba kuba 0703 M52 tukikutuuseeko wonna w'oli. Jjukira nti Money Grows on Trees, sente zimera ku miti.
Ministry of Health Director General Dr. Henry Mwebesa has urged the people of Toro and neighboring districts to put long-lasting mosquito nets distributed to their intended use to curb on the increased malaria cases in the region. He made the remarks during the third wave regional mosquito net distribution.
Ministry of Health has launched a regional mosquito net distribution campaign on the theme Chasing Malaria Out of Households. The Director General at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Henry Mwebesa, says only 3 districts are still having high malaria burden.
I don't want just to emphasize nets, but it is a comprehensive package. Use the net properly, drain the stagnant water, clear the bushes, but also if a child falls sick, you rush quickly to the health center and make sure you start early treatment.
Deputy Prime Minister of Toro Kingdom, Harriet Nyakaki, rallied the people of Toro Kingdom to live a healthy life and always abstain from unprotected sex as the region is topping in the HIV burden in the country.
The negative effects of malaria to the communities in Toro cannot be overemphasized. As we are here, we have all been affected by malaria in different ways, including loss of valuable lives. The King has directed his cabinet, the entire kingdom structure at county and community level to join this fight against malaria.
Go to Regional Referral Hospital to do orthopedic surgery. We have to go to Kilembe, and the one of Kilembe also retired is just helping us on Barara. And now when we're going to host AFCON, and we don't have an orthopedic surgeon, it's going to be one of the issues that will deter us from hosting AFCON. So that is our request.
The third wave 2023 campaign under the National Malaria Control Division at the Ministry of Health procured 28.8 million long-lasting insecticide-treated mosquito nets to be distributed to the population of 46.8 million people in 9.4 million households by the end of the campaign. Funding and implementing partners in the fight against malaria call upon the government to build a net culture among the population to prevent malaria in all major parts of Uganda.
Recently, as WHO pre-qualified a new malaria vaccine, making 2 pre-qualified malaria vaccines. And I hope that Uganda will add these tools among control intervention soon. Let this intervention be accessible. Let them reach the poor, the underprivileged, those living in hard-to-reach areas.
Preventing malaria is in your hand. I want to repeat that. Preventing malaria is in your hand. If the kid said that, our future is secure.
According to the district health officer, Fort Portal City noted that malaria is the second cause of morbidity in the region, counting to 19% of the population and 14% in the under 5s.
When you look at our data for 2022-2023, malaria in Fort Portal City remains a very big challenge as the second commonest cause of morbidity. When you look at people attending in the general population, OPD, general population, but then also under 5s. It is still the second commonest cause of OPD attendance.
Ministry of Health progress report on the long-lasting insecticide-treated mosquito nets 2023 indicate 15 million long-lasting insecticide-treated nets have been distributed and 79 out of the 146 designated districts and cities have received nets, a 54.1% coverage. Zahra Abigaba, UBC News.
The Entebbe Muslim District Representative, the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, Sheikh Muzamil Nsubuga, has called upon parents to be role models in all aspects of noble behavior. He was leading dedication prayers for Abusha School's P7 candidates.
According to the teachings of Islam, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, every parent is supposed to pray for his or her child. It is really good to see that every parent supplicates or prays for his or her child. According to what was done by this school of Abusha Junior School, it was really very good. So I argue to all parents to pray for their children so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala eases everything for those children.
Pray for them, for their success. And secondly, I've encouraged these candidates to be confident enough because I trust them. And secondly, what we have given them is enough for them to sit for those examinations and perform very well.
Ndeka wena mulamu otyo mbakemye lubona mubaire muli kolati
ndide kulagira ono ngeri jiba kwayo kumbaga ya mwene ngwakozesa momope
eisimu eriwa je buliko
tola yesimu wena nakobya ironi geisimu tobulira
eisimu yini
ni gasita ndala mukaga 5 sita 3 otewe ashi onige yes balese chawo
balese merchant code je balisaba mama kaliba ati
kayo buzono wachi tamu nsanvu mirundi 3
balisaba
tamu sente dewe
amount baleta
mobile money
balikunsa bapini
bucha utampiniyo
iwa imwe sasula
aye baba embaga ya mwene mwekuoniza
Pay or shop
shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Experts in land matters hold divergent views over proper land use and acquisition for economic development. The Director Land Matters Operation Wealth Creation, Zeru Abuka, wants government to establish a land bank to enable proper land purchase, segmentation and planning. This was during the Uganda Development Forum conference in Nwoya district, where General Salim Saleh emphasized dialogue towards addressing land disputes.
This is General Salim Saleh arriving at Chobe Safari Lodge in Nwoya district. He is here to oversee a discussion surrounding land. Officials and technocrats are flexing intellectual muscles over land use in Uganda.
So the mere fact that we have money, we have to invest. Can you please adhere to the physical development plan of the places? Luckily enough, where you are, Nwoya district is one of the luckiest districts having its physical development plan up to 2040.
There are two things. If we do, all these things will come to a knot. One is the practice of intensive agriculture. If we do intensive agriculture, we shall not need as much land. And all this question of shortage of land and issues about land will go.
One of the proposals and recommendations is establishing a land bank for proper purchase and planning.
So long as I'm sitting here and listening up to January next year, you are not going to do those kind of things without adhering to the physical development place.
It is simply TCA, terms and conditions apply. It's as simple as that. So let the terms and conditions be clear, and they should not be flexible.
Land ownership is among the proposals, with some suggestions.
But that thinking should come to the Africans, that not everybody should have land. If you don't have anything, any profession, any work to do with land, maybe you can build a house on a plot of land. But you cannot just acquire, say, about 700, 1,000 acres of land. You are 65 years old, you are still acquiring 2,000 acres of land, and you're saying an investment. For what? When you're not tilling the land and you're not an agriculturalist.
General Salim Saleh fronted dialogue in addressing land controversies.
The issue of land in the north can easily be handled through dialogue. There is no however many lawyers you put up here, they will not give you what you want.
The conference was on the theme, working together to effectively develop sustainable end-to-end agricultural value chains. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The demolition of curio shops at the source of the Nile site in Jinja has displaced the business community in the area. Although the development is supported, the business people there complain about how kiosks being demolished without any sensitization.
Government plans to develop the source of the Nile into an international standard tourism product. This will include the construction of a modern pier, docking place, parking yard, curio shops, visitors information center, among others. Currently, there are demolitions taking place at the proposed site. Kenneth Laibi is one of the first developers of this site. He says they were caught by surprise by the demolitions.
So far what is taking place, we are not informed of the development so far. We know that government wants to develop the place, but now what is taking place now is not clear to us.
Although they support the project, their concern is the timing and the lack of sensitization.
We know the new things we're going to have around. There are new people going to come because of those things. Some people are not coming now because of whatever, the same picture they are receiving all and day. But we know that for the new development, we hope to see more and more people coming, because if you see the pictures and all just trying to show people they are going to put at the source of the Nile, everyone and many people outside the country Uganda, they are very happy for whatever is going to be built at the source of the Nile. The involvement of government was supposed to come after 18 months because they sent people here to assess, and people assessed. They took photographs of people, the area where you have been. They measured your area. Even if you had planted a tree, they had to take a photo for that tree. Even if it was a banana plantation, they took photographs of each and everything. And they told us that that process is going to take them 18 months. After 18 months, they will come back to us and tell us the next step. But what we are seeing now is a different thing. It seems there is another project that has come in. It has caught us unaware. We do not know this project where it is coming from.
The source of the Nile, located in Jinja district, is one of Uganda's top tourism destinations. It is at this exact point where the River Nile, considered the longest river in the world, starts its 6,650 kilometers journey north, flowing into the Mediterranean Sea. Dennis Igor for UBC News.
Elders in Sebei sub-region have petitioned President Museveni through the Kapchorwa Resident District Commissioner Sekaja Martin, requesting him to fast-track the demarcation of Bulambuli-Kapchorwa boundary. We have details to this.
The elders, led by the chairperson Sebei sub-region elder person is Vincent Batega, says the boundary disputes have persisted since 1960s, causing intertribal conflicts between the Gishu and Sabine.
We promised in Lancaster that the border, when Mr. Jamonga Saskadi, he said that the border will be maintained, it will be given, it will be put properly in the, when you have reached in Uganda. From that time, we have been writing letters complaining as we want to get our border.
We had several battles. The battle of 1964, the battle of 1979, 86. And we are appealing to government. Unless they handle that case, we shall still go to war with the Bugisu.
In their petition, the elders say the boundary disputes must be resolved to avert the tribal war between the people of Bugisu and Sebei.
Given the recent developments on boundary issue in 2023, where Sansara Parish and other areas of Kapchorwa indicated to be in Bulambuli by coordinates, it is likely to cause intertribal war in the near future.
At least our border should be defined, it should be gazetted, so that we know when we talk of Sebei, we know where we end. Right now, we don't know.
The area of plantation is the hills that host stone quarries where mining of lime and other minerals are taking place.
After a lot of discovery of minerals now, like we have lime in the lower belt, and we hear also there's oil and other undiscovered minerals. So when this comes into reality, like when we see now lime, which is being mined by several factories from Tororo, which include Tororo Cement, Hima Cement, Simba Cement, Kampala Cement. There are royalties which ought to be paid. So we don't know how much is being paid in the district, and what is the measure, what is the basis, and there could be other minerals. And then also corporate social responsibility is not there.
The Natural Resource Officer Kapchorwa District, Chemangeya Awadi, noted that the boundary is leading the district to lose out on royalties.
We are mining rock for pozzolana, cement manufacture. If I lose part of the rocks that are in the lower regions, then automatically Kapchorwa district will lose royalties, and the royalties are our revenue to the district.
The RDC Sekaja Martin received the petition and pledged to forward it to the president, but advised the elders to also submit copies to his counterparts, the RDCs of Kwena and Buko, since it is a regional issue.
Ajuko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Ajuko, I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. But what you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
The Cricket Cranes, Uganda's men's senior team, will take part in the 2023 ICC Men's T20 World Cup Africa qualifiers that will take place between the 19th and 30th of November in Namibia.
Brian Masaba, Ronak Patel, Simon Sesazi, Riazat, Alisha, Henry Senyondo, Frank Nsubuga, Dinesh Nakrani are some of the names that have been selected for the 2023 ICC Men's T20 World Cup Africa qualifiers that will take place between the 19th and the 30th of November 2023 in Namibia. The team has been in camp for the past weeks preparing for the event, and the boys are confident for a good show.
Well, the mood is upbeat. The boys are excited. We know it's a big challenge ahead of us, and you know we're looking forward to it. It's probably the biggest qualifier we've played in a couple of years, you know, with a real shot at the World Cup. So for a lot of the guys, this might be a final chance to play at the World Cup. So, you know, it's big for all of us. A couple of the guys want to do that for those players that might not be there in the next cycle. But also, you know, for the coach who has put in a lot of time and hard work into this. So, you know, the boys want to go out there and do it for him as well. I believe we've done well in the last tournament in Kigali. You know, our batting really came through despite the fact that we're also missing a couple of key players. So, you know, that's very positive signs for us that, you know, there are more than enough guys willing to step up and do the job, even when some of the guys are missing. So, you know, I'm very positive on that note. I think we have probably the best batting depth we've had in a number of years. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to see how that turns out for us. You know, and if we take that into this tournament, I believe we have a real shot at beating them. We're not too far from them, and, you know, it's just a question of execution on that day. If everyone comes with their A game and executes the game plan, I believe we'll come out on top.
Before going to Namibia, the team will head to Zimbabwe for some trial games with top cricket clubs to test their readiness for the upcoming challenge.
We have been putting a lot of work in all the three departments of the game, most especially the batting and the bowling. The boys have switched on the gears as we head into the World Cup qualifiers. We've had a chance to play a couple of games where we're picking up a few mistakes and correcting them. But that's one of the things that we're putting in a lot of efforts to make sure the boys get ready and start hitting the good lines and length.
I think Uganda's got all its bases covered in terms of seam, spin, pace, left-handers, right-handers. And yeah, looking forward to watching the team perform to the best of their abilities. I think for me, it's one of those, I'm really excited that the world is going to see this talent. And it's been an amazing 3 years working with them, and I wish them all the best for the tournament.
The Cricket Cranes will be fighting for 2 spots at the World Cup qualifiers with 7 other teams: Tanzania, Nigeria, Rwanda, Kenya, Namibia, and test-playing nation Zimbabwe. It's the winners and the runners-up that will qualify for the 2024 ICC Men's T20 World Cup in West Indies and USA. Grace Joyce, Kemigisa, UBC News.
Still in sport, the Uganda Swimming Federation held its first ever coaches conference at the Nob View Hotel in Ntinda over the weekend.
Over the weekend, the Uganda Swimming Federation concluded its 4 weeks coaching program with a final conference at the Nob View Hotel in Kampala. with a target aim to help develop swimming as a healthy lifestyle and promote elite aquatic sport in the country. The Commissioner of Physical Education and Sports informed the coaches to always make use of their time while in the sport and furthermore advised them to acquire the skills beyond the sport of swimming.
Competitive swimming, where do you retire? After retiring, where will I be? We don't want people to come. Government help me, I was a swimmer, I am now jobless. Hey, you say, what can you do? Can you go to army and shoot? No, you see, I fear a gun. Can you go to police and stop cars? No, you see, I fear rain on the road. And somebody is just helpless because there has been an accident in swimming. We don't want that one. Let your people get skills beyond swimming. There should be continuity of life. In everything you think, in everything you do, always do the right thing at the right time, in the right place, with the right intentions.
More than 60 coaches were able to seek more knowledge in drowning prevention and learn about training and developmental programs needed for their athletes. With this being the first coaches conference in the country, the Federation Secretary General indicated that despite attaining a certificate in coaching and good conduct, identification will be vital for all.
And every coach will be asked to attend every year. Failure to attend it, we're not going to list you, because now we're going into the Sports Law Act. There are certain things we have to make very clear. For you to be listed among the coaches of Uganda Swimming Federation, we will put you on the website, a photo. We will have you on the website, but it will indicate that one, the coach is affiliated to USF. They also have done safeguarding. They have done a life-saving course. We'll receive data and info from the life-saving team, and we will show that these are the people up. But there are other things that you really needed to get before you can get an ID number and an ID. Okay? We'll want you to at least be able to get the certificate of good conduct from the Interpol.
The Uganda Swimming Federation partnered with the German Olympics, the World Aquatics, and the Uganda Olympic Committee. The federation will now turn its focus to the National Sprint Gala that is set for the coming weekend and the Kana Zone 3 Games in Rwanda later this month. Marshall, Miro, UBC News.
Miro brings us to the end of tonight's news. Thanking you so much for watching. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Catch you in our other programs and of course with news tomorrow. Bye-bye and good night. First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs, Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga, and the entire family of Dr. David Kantale Kazungu of Kabuche, Kamuli District, regret to announce the untimely death of a senior citizen, Dr. David Kantale Kazungu, which occurred on the 5th of November 2023 at Mulago Hospital. Informed are His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, the Vice President of Uganda, the Speaker of Parliament, the Chief Justice of Uganda, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Ministers and Members of Parliament, Ambassadors and Members of the Diplomatic Corps, all Bishops of Busoga Dioceses, the Katukiro of Busoga, all RDCs, LC5 chairpersons, and all local government leaders of Busoga, in-laws, relatives and friends of the Kazungu family. The late Dr. David Kantale Kazungu served Uganda in different capacities. As a member of the National Consultative Council, as a member of Parliament for Kamuli Central Constituency, he was a Minister of Rehabilitation, he was an ambassador of Uganda to France, Spain and Greece, he was a PTA chairman, Busoga College Mwiri, he was a Minister of Finance in the Chabazinga government, among other capacities. On Monday the 6th of November 2023, there will be vigil at Lana's home Namugongo at 5 p.m. and Wax's home Chisasi Kulambiro at 8 p.m. A church service will be held at St. Andrew's Church Bukoto at 10 a.m. on Tuesday the 7th of November 2023. Another church service will be at All Saints Cathedral Bugembe Jinja at 10 a.m. on Wednesday the 8th 28th of November, and vigil at the deceased's home in Kabuche, Kamuli District, plus a special sitting for the Kamuli District Local Government and eulogy ceremony on Thursday, the 9th of November 2023. Then on Friday, the 10th of November 2023, there will be a church service at All Saints Church, Busota, Kamuli District at 11 a.m. and burial at 2 p.m. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
African Airline Association, in conjunction with Uganda Airlines, presents the 55th AFRA Annual General Assembly between the 19th and 21st November 2023 at Speak Resort Hotel, Munyonyo, in the heart of Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. In attendance will be 500 high-profile African and global aviation leaders, 40 airline CEOs making strides to transform aviation for development. The 55th AFRA AGA is proudly powered by
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform,